History is full of people who got rich for the dumbest reasons imaginable. Rome literally bottled gladiator sweat and called it a luxury product. And an emperor once taxed pee. Or the church sold get into heaven faster passes. And a king got so rich he broke the global economy just by giving out tips? Yup, before hashtags and side hustles, ancient civilizations had their own influencer economy, and it was absolute chaos. So buckle up, because today we're diving into 24 ridiculous ways ancient civilizations got rich. Some of these will make you laugh, some will make you question the education system, and all of them prove one timeless truth. Humanity's favorite get-rich plan has always been stupidity with confidence.
Fact number 1. Roman gladiator merchandising. Before there were influencers selling protein shakes, Rome had gladiators selling sweat. Yeah, real bottled body oil scraped straight off freshly punched men. They called it a strength potion, and fans paid in gold to smell like victory. Or maybe heat stroke. Some people even rubbed it on their skin, hoping to absorb the power. So basically, Gatorade, if Gatorade was disgusting and flammable. Rome didn't just invent sports. They invented sponsored body odor. Hashtag ad for sweat. Fact number 2. The Roman pee tax. If you think selling sweat was crazy, Rome wasn't done squeezing profits out of the human body. Meet Emperor Vespasian, the man who looked at pee and thought, now that's liquid gold. Tanners used ammonia from urine to soften leather, so Vespasian said, perfect, let's tax it. Yup, he literally charged people for collecting pee. When citizens complained, he held up a coin and said, money doesn't stink. Translation: cry harder, peasants. So next time you grumble about modern taxes, just remember, Rome invented the first bathroom subscription plan. They didn't call it Netflix, but trust me, it still stank. Fact number 3. Medieval indulgence sales. If you thought taxing pee was peak greed, the church said, hold my halo. In medieval Europe, priests started selling indulgences, basically spiritual coupons for forgiveness. You paid gold, and boom, fewer sins on your heavenly credit report. It was the original skip the line to heaven pass. Imagine confessing your sins and the priest going, bless you, my child. Would you like to add eternal forgiveness for $9.99? The church turned guilt into a business model. Forgive now, pay later, the ultimate holy subscription plan. Fact number 4. Mansa Musa's gold crash. And if you thought selling forgiveness was wild, wait till you meet the man who literally broke the economy with generosity. Mansa Musa, the ruler of Mali, and fun fact, probably the richest human who ever lived. In 1324, he went on a pilgrimage carrying so much gold, it made Scrooge McDuck look underfunded. He handed out bars of gold like party favors. People loved it, until the local markets crashed because, surprise, gold wasn't rare anymore. This man tipped so hard he caused inflation. He didn't just make it rain, he started an economic monsoon. The first person to ever go broke by being too generous. Fact number 5. Chinese paper money experiment. After Mansa Musa accidentally broke the market with too much gold, China said, okay, fine, no more shiny stuff. Let's invent money you can't even see. Boom, the world's first paper currency. Genius idea. Until they printed so much of it, it became cheaper than the paper itself. They went from financial innovation to ancient monopoly money in record time. Imagine working all week, getting paid, and realizing your paycheck is worth lunch? Congrats, China. You just unlocked the first ever inflation DLC. Fact number 6. Medieval bird poop wars. If you thought printing worthless money was dumb, wait till you hear about the time countries went to war over bird poop. Yeah, in the 1800s, guano, or bird droppings, became the world's most valuable fertilizer. Suddenly, every island covered in poop was prime real estate. Nations literally fought for piles of seagull leftovers. It was the world's first turd rush. People risked their lives for nitrogen. Forget gold rush. This was the poop rush. Imagine dying for a bucket of bird crap and your king calling it an act of patriotism. Fact number 7. Babylonian beer currency. So after bird poop became valuable, Babylon said, "Hold my pint." Because in ancient Mesopotamia, workers were literally paid in beer. That's right. The first payroll system was basically a bar tab. Congratulations on finishing that temple. Here's 3 gallons of lager. It was all good until tavern owners started watering it down for profit. Boom. Ancient happy hour fraud. Babylonians were out here inventing both payday and getting scammed at the bar at the same time. Truly the blueprint for corporate life. Fact number 8. Phoenician purple dye scam. You ever buy something expensive and realize it's basically trash with marketing? Yeah, the Phoenicians mastered that 3,000 years ago. They made royal purple dye by crushing thousands of tiny sea snails. It smelled terrible, it took forever, and it cost a fortune, which made people assume it was exclusive. That's how the world's first luxury brand was born. They literally sold snail juice to kings and queens for more than gold. So the next time someone flexes a designer label, just remember, you're looking at ancient snail propaganda. Fact number 9. Spice route hoaxes. If you think modern marketing lies are bad, wait till you meet the ancient spice traders. These guys were the original clickbait kings. They told people spices came from lands guarded by dragons, giant birds, and rivers of fire, all to justify sky-high prices. Yeah, this cinnamon's expensive because I almost died getting it. In reality, they just didn't want competition finding their suppliers. It was storytelling genius and pure nonsense. Basically, they were running a 3,000-year-old version of limited drop only, link in bio. They sold spice and sprinkled in fear. Fact number 10. Ancient Egyptian lottery tombs. Ancient Egypt had the first real estate scam, and it was afterlife real estate. Priests started selling fake tomb plots, promising eternal luck or a VIP spot in the next world. Buy now, rest forever. They even called it a lottery, meaning you might win a better tomb. Imagine falling for that. Congratulations. You won. The same coffin as everyone else. It was the world's first spiritual raffle. Basically, they were selling timeshares in heaven. Egyptians didn't invent pyramids for the pharaohs. They invented pyramid schemes. Fact number 11. Greek oracles side business. You think fortune tellers are vague today? The Greeks invented the art of saying nothing, mysteriously. The Oracle of Delphi was basically the world's first paid consultant. Kings, generals, and rich dudes traveled miles to ask her for divine guidance, and she'd reply with something like, "A great empire will fall." Cool. But whose empire, Brenda? Meanwhile, the priests behind the curtain charged premium rates to interpret her visions. They were running a spiritual side hustle with zero refunds. The oracle didn't just predict the future, she predicted cash flow. Fact number 12. Venetian glass island Venice had a secret recipe. Glass so clear it made nobles lose their minds. So what did the government do? They moved all glassmakers to one island and never let them leave. Welcome to Murano. Part luxury brand, part hostage situation. If a glassmaker tried to escape, they could be executed. Yeah, that vase on your grandma's shelf was made by someone who literally couldn't quit their job. But it worked. Murano glass became the Gucci of the Middle Ages. Venice didn't just sell art. They sold exclusivity, enforced by guards. Fact number 13. Roman bread and circuses. Rome had a secret formula for keeping people quiet. Free food and front row chaos. They called it bread and circuses. Citizens got free grain and gladiator games, so they'd stop asking annoying questions like, "Hey, where did all our tax money go?" The emperors basically said, if they're full and entertained, they won't riot. It was government-level Netflix. Endless violence, zero democracy. Bread for the stomach, blood for the crowd, and silence for the Senate. Rome didn't invent politics. They just perfected distracting you with snacks. Fact number 14. Roman concrete monopoly. Rome didn't just build big. They built forever. Their concrete was so strong it still stands after 2,000 years. And the secret ingredient? Volcanic ash. Plus total secrecy. They guarded that formula like it was the Krabby Patty recipe. Anyone caught leaking it? Done. It was the ancient version of Apple's closed ecosystem. Every empire wanted their mix, but Rome said, sorry, proprietary technology. They didn't just conquer land, they patented durability. When modern engineers tried to copy it, they couldn't. Turns out, even their ruins are better built than our houses. Fact number 15. Ming Dynasty salt monopoly. In the Ming Dynasty, salt wasn't just seasoning. It was strategy. The government controlled the entire salt trade and sold salt licenses to rich families. In return, those families loaned the empire money. So yeah, it was the first ever salty Ponzi scheme. If you had a license, you weren't just rich, you were untouchable. No wonder everyone wanted in. Forget crypto. This was the original invest in minerals craze. The whole empire ran on salt and debt, proving once again, even 600 years ago, the market was extra salty. Fact number 16. Persian postal profit. Long before Amazon Prime promised 2-day shipping, the Persian Empire had the first reliable postal system, with horses instead of vans. They built relay stations across thousands of miles, so messages could travel faster than gossip at a family reunion. But here's the genius part. Merchants started paying to piggyback their goods on the royal mail routes. Boom. Side hustle unlocked. The government made bank off postage fees. So while kings were sending battle orders, traders were shipping luxury rugs and limited edition spices. Persia didn't just deliver letters, they delivered profits. Fact number 17. Greek olive tree licenses. The ancient Greeks loved olives so much, they turned them into a business model. You couldn't just plant a tree. You had to buy a license from the government. Yeah, they literally monetized Mother Nature. If you tried planting without a permit, you could be fined or worse, uprooted by the olive police. It was like, congratulations, you invented agriculture. That'll be 50 drachmas. Athens basically ran on olive oil and paperwork. It was the original pay-to-plant economy, proof that even in 500 BC, bureaucracy still grew faster than trees. Fact number 18. British Tulip Mania prequel. Before NFTs and meme stocks, there were tulips. Long before the famous Dutch bubble, English nobles were already trading rare flowers like they were Bitcoin. One rare bulb could buy you land, livestock, or a mansion until everyone realized it's still just a flower. People went bankrupt chasing bouquets. It was basically Wall Street with better landscaping. And when the bubble burst, everyone was left holding overpriced plants. Moral of the story? If your investment needs sunlight and watering, it's probably not financial advice. Fact number 19. Ancient Indian debt forgiveness festivals. Ancient India had a genius idea. Every few years, kings would just cancel everyone's debt. Yeah, poof, gone. Farmers, traders, citizens, all forgiven. It was basically the world's first economic spring cleaning. The logic was simple. If everyone's broke, nobody's spending. So the ruler hits Control plus Alt plus Delete on the economy, and suddenly, boom, morale restored. Imagine your credit card company calling and saying, hey, about that balance, we're feeling generous this century. Honestly, we could use a little ancient wisdom on that one. Fact number 20. Japanese rice exchange. Before Wall Street had bulls and bears, Japan had rice. In the 1700s, samurai and merchants traded rice coupons, slips of paper that promised a certain amount of grain. Soon, people started trading those slips instead of the rice. Congrats, they invented futures trading and didn't even know it. It was the sushi version of the stock market. Prices went up and down like crypto charts. One good harvest could make you rich. One bad one could ruin your clan. They even had brokers, speculation, and, of course, market crashes. So the next time your investments flop, just remember, ancient samurai were out here day trading rice. Fact number 21. Ancient Greek joint ventures. Long before Shark Tank, the Greeks were literally pitching to sharks. At sea, merchants formed joint ventures for trading voyages. One guy funded the ship, another supplied cargo, another handled sales. If the ship made it home, everyone got paid. If it sank, congrats. You just invented shared bankruptcy. It was the original high-risk, high-reward investment. They even had contracts that outlined profits, losses, and who gets to cry first. Basically, ancient venture capital. But instead of tech bros in hoodies, it was toga bros yelling, "Who's investing in my olive oil startup?" Fact number 22. Benjamin Franklin's compound interest fund. Benjamin Franklin didn't just discover electricity. He discovered compound interest. When he died, he left $1,000 to 2 American cities and told them not to touch it. For 200 years. 200 years. When they finally opened the fund, it had grown to over $500,000. Franklin basically said, "You can't rush wealth, but you can let math do the work." It's the most powerful set it and forget it in history. While everyone else was spending, Franklin was investing in future clout. He didn't just leave a legacy, he left a receipt labeled, "Told you patience pays." Fact number 23. Aztec feather merchants. Before Gucci, before Louis Vuitton, the Aztecs had feather merchants. Exotic bird feathers were rarer than gold, and traders who handled them were treated like royalty. They guarded parrots and quetzals like walking ATMs with wings. One wrong move and your inventory could fly away. They weaved these feathers into royal cloaks so bright they made everyone else look broke. It was the ancient version of limited edition fashion, except instead of silk and sequins, it was bird glitter. So yeah, the Aztecs were the first to say, if it flaps, it slaps. Fact number 24. Egyptian cat smuggling. In ancient Egypt, cats weren't pets, they were sacred. So sacred that exporting them was illegal, which of course meant people immediately started smuggling cats. Yep, entire underground networks dedicated to sneaking fluffy contraband out of Egypt. Foreign traders would pay fortunes for these mystical furballs, and smugglers made bank-moving meow-sized treasure across borders. It was the ancient world's most adorable black market. Forget gold or spices. Cats were the real currency. Basically, Egypt didn't just worship cats. They accidentally invented the internet's business model. So there you have it. 24 ways humanity got rich using equal parts chaos, confidence, and confusion. They sold sweat. They taxed pee. They worshipped poop. They turned feathers into fortune and cats into currency. And somehow, it worked. From gladiator merch to debt forgiveness festivals, every era had the same formula. Take something ordinary, make it sound important, and cash in before anyone asks questions. That's not innovation, that's marketing. If there's one lesson history keeps teaching us, it's this. You don't need genius to get rich, just timing, storytelling, and a little bit of shameless creativity. So next time someone calls your idea stupid, remember, so was selling bottled gladiator sweat. And that funded an empire. Hit that subscribe button before someone figures out how to tax it. Thanks for watching. And welcome to the world's longest-running business model. Human stupidity monetized.